would be the basketball term. He's like a James Harden.
You saying he's got 4 garbage teammates like James Harden? No, I mean James Harden when everyone's injured.
Yeah. You need him. You don't want him to play. You want to give him the ball. You know, you want to make sure he's gonna be the reason you win or lose.
Okay.
You're gonna ride or die with Armel.
Alright.
It's like, you know, whenever you give somebody like a Viper or something, your star player like Viper never feels good.
Yeah.
Would you take Kunkka here because you banned the OD? Is that what that signifies?
Ooh. Yeah, Kunkka making it deep here. And it's another hero you can empower, so I don't mind it whatsoever. They banned Doom, I guess, expecting Razor to be mid, but I wouldn't mind seeing a Kunkka pick. It gives them some catch, which is, you know, something you want either out of your mid or your offlane at this point, I feel, because you can't rely on Magnus as your only catch, and Ember instead.
Yeah, so I was under the assumption from pick 3 that was a support mag.
Yeah.
You're not, you know, you got a Ferrari in the garage, man. Gotta let it do its thing.
It's another hero that benefits from the Empower, the Ember. It's no Kunkka, but it's catch, it's an Empower target. And, wow, Ramses is hyped about something. He popped off there. I don't know what. He's feeling so good about after game 1.
Yeah. Dude, I don't think they're winning this game, so I don't know why so
Afanin is a huge SF player. That's one of the heroes Gambit love picking for him. They did like the SF with Visage. They get like the Greaves SF and just 5-man down towers. I don't know if this is necessarily a Greaves SF kind of game, but we'll see what he has in mind.
I think it's a good Greaves game.
Okay.
I don't know if I would... Yules is really nice too, actually. Maybe you can even potentially afford to go both. Because getting BKB, I feel, is kind of, especially as like a first 3 item, is like meh.
Yeah. Well, Greaves is one way to get rid of like a Searing Chains, so it's not the worst idea. Could be a tricky mid lane if Tim's is roaming around. I feel like I've seen these Boots Magnuses get behind some of these mids that don't have good escapes like SF and just skewer them. Even if it's not into tower, just skewer them forward, and SF then suddenly is dead to a Flame Guard on Ember. So he does need to play fairly cautiously in that mid lane.
SF works Ember in lane, but in the mid and late game, it feels real nice to play Ember against SF. Because he can never kill you until he gets like Hex.
I mean, this is James Harden, man. You set those screens for him. That's going to be Magnus. He's going to be getting up there. Dog. He's going to be getting up there, helping his boy out, getting him open, get him some early kills. He's not on his own against this SF.
True.
Well, we'll see if Team Russia can make their way through TNC. They are the returning champions here, but have their work cut out for them. As TNC get themselves ready.
Oh no!
New players being 9-man tipped. It's AU this time. I don't know how they. How do you think they decided? Last game it was Armel, right?
Probably one person starts it and then everybody kind of just does it.
Okay. They're all sheep. So it is going to be Boots versus Magnus. I'm going to imagine he'll be looking for some of those skewer plays around the map. Not really a strong laning hero, Magnus, but he's one of the few 4s that can actually kind of gank, if not, even though he doesn't secure lanes in the traditional way.
Dude, this guy in chat is flaming James Harden. He said Harden doesn't need screens. He just dribbles the ball until there's 4 seconds left and just jacks up an ill-advised jumper.
I mean, that got him 50 points a game for a couple of weeks, and
it worked.
Yeah, Rocket's on a nice 8-game winning streak right now, baby. No problem whatsoever. Ugh, here we go. Okay.
Easy does it today as TNC. I mean, ideally they'd want the easy 2-0, and they might just get it here as Solo and Roger, they're getting backed up for a second. It is in fact TNC that's going to at least pick up 3 of these bounty runes. That is economic damage.
Yep. I mean, they just did that walking through. Normally you see like Magnus have to make like skewer plays to do that, where he skewers someone off of one, but he just walks on through. Needs to be a little bit careful. He's bullying Ramses a bit as he tries to get to lane, but Batrider is in the neighborhood during this. The big lane swap is why this kind of led to them getting 3 bounty runes, I guess. But yeah, they want the troll up top against the Razor.
How's this mid matchup going? It's actually not going bad at all for Ember.
You got to get those first few souls. He doesn't go for the... I feel like a lot of SFs I see go for level 1 Raze these days.
Is it coming back?
The Raze?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At least at this term I've seen 2 SFs do it. Iceberg was one. Just getting those first few last hits, and then you've got Raze for level 2. Like, you get those first few last hits, you get that Wraith Band a bit faster.
What was the mid matchup? Do you know?
I don't remember. But SF has 4 souls now, so he's looking a bit better.
I would consider doing that against, like, maybe, like, Tinker or Quap or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, if they're going to get in your face a bit and bully you.
Yeah, like, in those matchups where you want to be able to push out the lane back into them or something.
Okay.
You can see that.
Tim's for now playing in the top lane. He pulled some waves around for Raven, so rather than going for any plays or ganks in the mid lane, he's playing the grab waves kind of 4-position play. Helping his buddy out. And Razor is one of those offlaners that doesn't really offlane. He doesn't have an escape, so he needs help getting his farm and the lane to him.
Tim's... Oh, bottom lane.
There's the kill.
That's a kill, easy.
Early point in Maledict, and with the cast, they find the offlane Slaughter. Happy start for TNC.
Nothing doing right now, man.
Roger needs to be careful here. Does he even have Firefly? No, he's just dead here, I want to say.
Oh, what?
You were away? Did Razor have boots? He has a windlace.
What's his move speed?
309 to
he would have had
292. I guess he was trying to go for like a little mini skewer maybe for like just the slow, but he pushed him.
He pushed
way
him
too
pretty
far.
far.
Yeah, I trying to, but did not do.
That was like a guaranteed kill in my opinion. The Razor had like 80 damage.
Yeah.
It was just 2 right clicks and he would have died. At bottom lane.
Okay. Tim's is like, you know, game 1 was too easy, guys. Set things back a little bit. I imagine TNC will have a little laugh about that one, but they are doing
if they
just
win,
fine.
they'll have a laugh about it.
They're up 1k gold. It's 3 minutes in. They're
Okay,
crushing.
yeah.
They're crushing the lanes. Well,
They really are.
Ember is beating SF 1v1 mid with no help whatsoever.
And I did tell you that Ember has a rough time versus the SF.
And I did, and I still believe you. I don't think you're lying to me, Will.
No, because that's why they picked it, right?
Yeah.
They agreed. He's just losing the lane. Like.
Yeah. Sometimes you get off to a bad start and you just get outplayed a bit, and you also have a game 1 like you just did, and you're a bit tilted, so things can very quickly get out of control.
The man that he's staring down, Armel, boy's a beast.
Yeah. He needs to be careful because Magnus is in the neighborhood in this mid lane. They are trading hits a bit here. Ember cops a Raze or 2, so needs to be a little bit careful. One more Raze could finish him off. He's trying to ball himself up with the salve as well. He pops the Mega. He gets the kill before Magnus even shows up. He dodges the skewer. Yep, he's got himself out of there.
Tim's, oh no, what is he? I told you the lane was fine.
Well,
SF favored lane, lol.
Yep. Well, so yeah, Evan a lot happier with that triple Raze solo kill. Magnus still hanging around, and Armel gets the Searing Chains with the Sleight of Fist.
And the skewer back. That was so well done.
That was not an easy slight Searing Chains when there were those creeps around as well. He's going to look to chase him down. Does end up bursting
Gabby
down.
died to neutrals.
It was the big camp. I'm not sure how or why or what, but he did end up dying to that big neutral camp where there was like a double stack. So, well, there goes the 1k gold lead. We're back to a bit more of an even game as the 5-minute mark approaches. Both teams will be eyeing off those bounty runes. And it is Raven up top being chased away on his Razor. Does pick up the bounty rune on the way out as Roger wants to go for this kill. Has some good napalm stacks, but that's the 5-minute bounty runes, which means there's also a shrine. So the cast is going to come in with Maledict.
Though.
Gets the RNG with the bounce back. It was a level 2 cast, so we had a lot of bounces to work with, and Raven will get the kill.
I have not felt Roger's impact in this series.
Game 1, he was the Earth Spirit. Yeah. No.
Not a typical situation that we see him in is. The TPs, this should just stop this in its tracks.
That in itself is fine for TNC. You see those 2 TPs go and you back off, you don't lose anyone. You know, you've kind of forced that rotation and the pressure out. And also the fact Ramsey's now alone. He does not have TP support. He doesn't even have a TP to get out. They skewer him back, and often you could just TP now, but he hasn't got one. I don't know if they can actually chase him down. He's pretty fast and mobile, juking through the tree, so they won't get this kill. Raven, I believe, still... No, he has boots, but he's just not quite able to chase for some of these kills.
They don't really quite have damage with the Magnus. They need the Ember to rotate up here if they're going to get kills on this troll. As Roger just continues to spam this out. Oh, sorry?
I was going to say, you mentioned his lack of impact. How much of that is just like the hero of this game, being a Bat Rider?
The thought is in mid lane, they're going to commit the triple Remnant. He should die.
Yeah, he's got Maledict on him, so he's dead one way or another. It's just a matter of who gets the kill, and it will go the way of the Witch Doctor.
I think that the Bat Rider is a good overall pick, but like normally the way that we see it played is, hold that thought, is Roger going to get pulled back.
Speak of the devil. Tough times for him.
Yeah. I think normally we see it like he goes mid, the Bat Rider. When Complexity did it, what's his name? Z-Freak just headed mid. He spammed out Sticky Napalm, made it really easy to lane, and then they just kind of messed them up. It was against Aster when I saw the game as bottom lane. What is Pasha there for?
Ember rotate. That's a big rotation, but yeah, like you say, what was he actually doing that far up? I don't know. This Witch Doctor's been everywhere as well, I feel. We've seen him in all 3 lanes. He's been in 5 of these kills, so very active early game.
TNC's so good.
They actually look like a team. I feel like so many of these WSG games are just... The games feel a bit more like pub games just because it's teams that don't normally play together. Not that that's really an excuse for VP, because it is 4 out of the 5 members.
Mm-hmm. Like, Afo Ninja isn't causing the problems in the spot lane, right? Like, this is just...
Yeah, he's the mid. Like, end of the day, what's happening in the side lanes and where the supports rotate, that's... shouldn't be affected by him. Maybe, you know, your mid rotates at 5 minutes for bounty runes, and that's changed. What a skewer back under the tower. Raven.
Should still be a kill.
Yeah, should still go down here. The power shots go into Ramsey's, not the Bat Rider, who's kind of low. Can Magnus still find this kill looking for a shockwave? No. Doesn't seem like he's got anything cooking. And Roger's still in the neighborhood. Doesn't have a TP for 10 seconds, so may try and come back in. He throws out a Napalm for some extra slow. They do have AU here with the Maledict and the cast, but he quickly realizes he's on his own, and there'll be a couple of kills going Rush's way up top. Pretty even despite TNC's fast start, and Russia getting a couple of kills there managed to bring things back to a bit more of an even place.
Even though the gold looks one-sided, the Shadow Fiend has done Shadow Fiend things. Yep. While Armel has gone around the map ganking, he's done what SFs do best. He's hit the jungle up. You just double raise repeatedly. Yep. Make life really easy for yourself.
Before there was Viper, there was SF. These heroes that just spam out mid, then go jungle farm until they get their key items. Gabby back down bottom has not had quite the dominant lane as we've sometimes seen of him. Is going for a fast drums this game, but did die the one time, so a little bit slower of a start, but he's still up there with the farm. So despite the death, he's keeping track of where you'd like to see your jug. Up top, it's another rotation from Armel. This boy is just so incredibly active here, and we're just seeing him find action and kills wherever he goes.
This feels like the mid one style of playing Dota, where mid one just, as soon as he gets any sort of item at all or any sort of lead, he doesn't really care that Afo Ninja's doing well. It's just more about enabling the rest of his cores. Because I think this Ember Spirit, you really don't want to be in a position where you're incredibly underfarmed, you're behind, you're struggling to catch up. Like this game, his teammates have done a really good job of setting up his game, and it's just making life easier for his side lanes.
I mean, even there, 3 heroes zone in from a bounty rune, which he doesn't get, but he gets his own bounty rune and gets away. It's a lot of space for the rest of his team, including this Jug, who just got a solo kill on Slaughter with the Omni Slash, and you're going to be pretty happy about that sequence of events.
So that's going to be 10-4 at 10 minutes, kill a minute right now for TNC. They're setting a really good pace as they have all throughout the series. And this is what I meant by, if you're team Russia, you have to keep up when it comes to pace versus this squad, because they play way too quick. And right now we're seeing that come to fruition so far as the glyph to protect the siege wagon. They want to try to get some damage on this tower. Mag is hanging around this area as Tim's. He's threatening, but shouldn't really be able to get anything done, especially with the chains missing there.
Yeah, perhaps hoping to latch on and set up a Skira, but not to be, as Armel looks also they're going double drums here, perhaps. Not that it's going to be the worst thing in the world. It's one of those items that isn't all about the aura. It's much more about the active component, the stat efficiency. So we'll see if he does end up completing that one, if he goes a different direction. But it is going to be a TNC rotation down towards this bottom side of the map, perhaps looking to play around multiple cores, get the Jug and the Ember together, and if they kill this Slaughter, they can very quickly turn this into a Tier 1 tower, something that neither team's been able to take just yet. Going with the cask. Doesn't look like he wants the Rubik. He goes for the Slaughter instead, and probably could have actually killed off the Rubik there, but actually no, Rubik has Blade Fury, so he could not have.
Shadow Fiend is going for the Greaves first. I think there's a lot of utility in this.
Yep.
And I think you want to try to end this game as soon as possible. You don't want to get into a situation where... the one thing about Mag Jug is it's really slow-paced. Even though the Ember Spirit... I think that's why Ember feels the need to make so much pressure on the map. Because you need time for Empower to come online, right?
Yeah.
As Roger's going to block the camp. I like this move a lot by him.
Yeah,
He's going to get spotted by Raven.
Sees what's going on with these stacks. I think he knows if they can farm that with the Empower, that things are going to quickly get out of hand in terms of the economic damage being dealt. Rubik with Blade Fury able just to hold his own against this lane. Only really afraid of maybe an Omni Slash.
Yeah. Pace of the game is really slowed down right now, as I think Russia's retreated to this left side of the map, and they're just kind of farming in, and TNC, due to the nature of their lineup, I think they're playing it a little bit slower. Like, they don't have these playmaking cores aside from this Ember, and I think Armel wants to get a little bit more farm. He wants to make sure that he's not completely eclipsed by this SF in the mid game.
It reminds me a bit of like the Ukraine drops that just, you know, you felt like a bit greedy with 3 cores farming, except TNC is actually getting away with it because they've itemized not to be ultra greedy, like Jug going for a drums, Ember going for a drums, and playing active. Like, they have 3 farming cores, a 3-position Razor, but for now, Russia is not kind of putting their foot down and trying to pressure it. That can change, though. You know, you mentioned the Greaves build and how it can allow them to end things early. I imagine that's going to be somewhat on Team Russia's mind.
As AU throws the most ambitious cask of all time in mid lane. There's no way that is ever going to hit, but with the mech completed, this is what we want to see. Go 5-man. Like, this is the strength of your lineup with this SF build. It's not to farm. You're not a typical SF item build where you get to just hit neutrals and you'll do the one-turn kill combo with the Yule Scepter. This is the 5-man let's hit towers build.
But they can't find anyone. TNC seem to be aware of this, and also the catch is kind of, it's the Rubik lift. That's really all they've got, so they're entirely relying on Solo.
They protected their stack. Yeah,
they farmed it up entirely, so it's too late. Solo's swooping in. He gets scouted here. They see Troll as well. They catch him with the Searing Chains. Perhaps Solo would have been the better target. Instead, they get him with the Omni-Size Slaughter. Does take a few shots, but it bounces back. Oh, it was well played by Pasha to help pick it up, and Avaninj has got the mech, but he's looking very squishy underneath the Blade Fury. Gets popped like a pinata, blows up everywhere, but no one on the TNC side.
Oh, Tim's brought back Ramses.
He's actually bringing down the Magnus very, very low. It looks like they should be able to get this kill. The Lasso coming out as well, pulling in the Ember. They kill off the Ember. Raven trying to charge forward to finish off some kills, but does not want to stand in the fire, so it still ends up okay for Team Russia, but
it was 2 for 2.
They
did lose both cores.
Buy back the Solo Rubik, so I guess 2 for 3.
Oh, nice steal from Solo, as they're just going to spin on each other. Gabby's still chasing for this.
Right-click him down? He wants it, but that Napalm should push him back. And
nice. Doesn't get clipped either.
Yep.
Had to use the buyback, but I think, it was worth it to kill Armel, for sure.
Cost him under 400 gold to buy back, so... Big kill onto Armel's Ember to slow down his momentum. Still 13 kills to 6, and it does still feel like TNC are playing a pretty fast tempo despite the greed and the fact, they're farming Ancients and stacks. They're willing to take the fight when Team Russia bring it to them.
Pasha, he's had such a rough game already. Yeah. Do they get this kill?
And he's sprinting, looking to get out of there. He has got 3 points in the sprint, perhaps
nice Tokyo
wishing
drift.
He had a 4. It's
no.
Maledict. And obviously, it's Armel's Sleight of Fist.
He is so underfarmed at this point in the game. He really needs his... they need his jump because the Bat Rider is nowhere near Blink Dagger. And they need the instant jump to be able to threaten this game. Especially if you want to take down Gabby at some point. Like, if you want any aspirations of taking down this Jug. And the only reason they were able to kill the Ember Spirit was also because he committed and Solo had used the buyback. You're not always going to get situations where that's possible. Since they fought in front of the Tier 1, it just becomes more and more difficult. Your current predicament, it doesn't get easier. Although the gold lead is only 1,000, so the situation is still somewhat manageable. But a large portion of that gold lead comes in the fact that Solo is so far ahead of the other two supports. The core battle is not going bad at all for the Philippine squad.
Yep. They're just itemizing for the early game. They've got a third drums coming along for Razor, so why the hell not? Magnus is just doing his thing, as got his arcane boots, has a blink dagger queued up next. This Witch Doctor 3-1-7. AU's been very active and involved in this game.
Dude, AU's been a beast.
And 5 positions, it's pretty hard to be a 5 and have an impact on the game. Like, that's a very glamorous role most of the time, but he's rotating in the right place at the right time as we'll get things back underway. Some good deep vision being planted behind this top lane, so a lot of info into this Radiant jungle where they've been farming their Ancients, using that in power, but hasn't led to much just yet.
Roger skipping the wave, just trying to get any sort of farm, really.
Yeah. Can they actually punish this?
I mean, they're pinging. This is pretty greedy. But it looks like he's just going to get away with it just fine.
Yeah, the fact it's just a Magnus there does look like he should get out.
He got a good amount of gold off of that, too. He pulled a wave. He got the big camp that was double stacked. That was well done, as he continues to be in this area.
For another wave.
Oh, my boy's greedy.
Oh, he didn't actually get the wave, and now he's revealed himself. I don't think he should get out. Surely, with this range creep tracking him, there's an RP. They get Searing Chains instead. Even better. And they'll get the kill.
Yeah, Armel's going to get the last hit of that, but I don't hate it. Yeah. As Solo's going to get the deny on the tower. Ravens.
That's nice.
Yeah, he's chasing. He's going to get the Yule Scepter off. He's going to pop the ulti for a 2 Solo. Nothing to steal that's going to allow him to get out of this one.
This will be a long respawn time after the buyback.
Yeah. That's
60 seconds.
It's 17 minutes in the game.
And you're 5.
You're dead.
Well, that may just be a tier 2 tower top, or where do they want to go? There's still a tier 1 mid, actually, so that may be the more important objective and also the easier objective to get. So,
yeah. Dude, he's going to be dead for almost like 5% of this game. Just off that buyback. Just alt-tab. Hands off the keyboard, chill.
It's Facebook time, man.
I have not gone on Facebook in so long.
Actually, me neither.
Oh, Guardian Greaves fully completed now by the Shadow Fiend. You'd imagine they really want to take fights with this build. You can't allow this Jug to get as far ahead as he is. Like, he's not being punished at all. This whole thing of just being able to free farm with Empower, you get so far ahead.
Yep. It does feel a little concerning, like they haven't got good answers for it, but Emperor will TP back home. They want to finish off this tier 1. Will it get denied? No, they don't. Even with the Troll and SF there, they go back in for a fight. They catch out the Batrider. That's a key initiation tool. The static link onto the Troll is going to take away some of his damage here. The cast going to bounce around onto 2 with the Death Ward. AU, what a play here. Followed up by an RP on 2. They're very tanky with this Guardian Greaves, so Amel goes remnant in. He's got no mana whatsoever. He may just pay for this with his life.
Oh.
Don't know what he was thinking.
The
stolen RP from the high
That's
ground.
so much damage!
Onto 3. Jug only can spin away. The tips come out mid-team fight onto Solo, rewarding him for what was a hell of a play, and they're going to catch the Witch Doctor as well.
That was so sick. He got the low ground RP.
Absolutely.
They were all stacked up. He probably just found the radius for catching them, all 3 of them. He walked to the edge of that cliff to be able to get that off, lined him up for the triple SF raise. And part of that, too, is that the Ember Spear committed so hard, thinking like, oh, well, we won the fight. But Shadow Fiend with Guardian Greaves is really tanky.
Yeah, they hit some nice spells as well. Witch Doctor got like a perfect 2-man cast followed up by an RP, but there was no damage on top of it. Jug wasn't there. Ember was diving the back lines. And TNC, for once, were not quite on the same page when it came to their team fight. And, well, suddenly things looking a bit better for the Russians.
Wow, that is... Oh, man. I feel like TNC shouldn't have lost that team fight. Like,
Yeah. I mean, Ember had a Maelstrom. They had plenty of damage. It just wasn't around
wasn't
the targets.
allocated correctly.
Yeah. Targets being controlled and stunned needed to be the priority more so.
You're going on a 2,000 net worth Batrider.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Ember got... I think he still got the lasso off on Ember, which locked him in place and delayed that kill. So even though the lasso wasn't being used to kill the Ember, it was being used to keep him separate from the rest of the fight.
Mm-hmm. I feel like if you're Roger, you're just like, whatever. Like, I just went in, created space for my team, don't really care.
Yep. Down bottom. Mel could be in some trouble, gets rooted into a lift, gets the Sleight of Fist into the Remnant out. Razor still lingering around, wants this bounty rune. He's going to get it and just walk away. Batrider's there, no Blink Dagger, Yule's on the back.
Nice Yules.
Keep running. Easy peasy. Yeah, this bat is dirt poor. He's got 250 gold towards a Blink Dagger right now. Well, 400 here. He's about to spend some of it on some sentry wards. As there we go. We'll see that money come out, but the bounty rune's being picked up at least negates some of that. Blink on Rubik. Solo playing the 4 position this game, it turns out. I mean, you kind of mentioned the bat is the 5, and that's kind of how it's being played, even though it's not the typical.
Dude, Solo's
4.
been playing 4 lately.
Okay.
It's been weird.
And during this tournament
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
yeah.
They've like adjusted. At first Roger was, and then Solo was like, dude, move over. I'm over this.
And Batrider just bought sentries isn't for the team, so RP used on the Ember. Can they actually bring him down? There's going to be a follow-up crush last, so they should have the lockdown this time. There's no escape for Armel. May have got out bottom lane, but not this time up top. Good last use of what was perhaps a bit of a surprise. The fact he still had the RP. I feel like that fight mid was such a long time ago, but Solo with the Blink Dagger as well, able to catch him out.
Dude, Solo is carrying this game right now.
Oh.
The buyback to win that mid fight, then that engagement where he 3-manned RP'd, he is genuinely winning this game for his team right now. And they're going to walk into this Roshan pit with 20 seconds still left. The Troll's going to take this incredibly fast, especially with the Shadow Fiend, the presence here too.
Can TNC contest? They've got to know this is going to go on with the Corrosive Haze. And they're all, well, 3 of them are nearby. They may look to try and delay this one. Roche will drop very fast. The Shockwave comes out. They catch the Batrider. Not the best target to kill first, but it's still a target that could scare them off Roche.
Look at this, Ramses. He's committing hard for this right now. And
yeah. Roger getting very, very low with the Maledict blow him up. Not with the Guardian Greaves. He gets some extra regen out of that one. Tim's, he's being amped up. He gets the Skewer back to the high ground. They catch up Pasha with this one. Gabby there as well. He's going to go for the Omni Slash. It's a stolen healing ward from Solo.
it hits the Ancients!
Oh, no. He bounces away. And this healing ward is healing everyone up. What a great steal. Tim's RPs, but doesn't really hit anything at all. And Roger's
They don't have damage anymore.
They can't kill off the healing ward. The Armel goes in the backlines, catches the Batrider. He should be able to finish him off. Magnus is going to buy back for this one. Jug is going to just look to try and maybe salvage things. He needs to be careful.
Gabby, you got outplayed!
Gabby gets destroyed. He does buy his items before his death there, but this is falling apart for TNC. Solo's Rubik is just styling on people.
Solo is... I mean, the man just did whatever he felt like doing. I had some inappropriate comments that I could have just said there to describe what he did to them. But because we're on a PG broadcast, oh man, the healing ward steal made it so that everyone had to commit to the backline for that. The fact Pasha was so smart, by the way, when he got Omni Slash in the first place, he dragged it away from the rest of his team to make sure that there was going to be no bounce whatsoever. They just got worked.
Well, a pick off on Armel turns into a Roshan, and that turns into a disaster of a fight, which gives Virtus Pro or Team Russia a 5k gold lead, roughly.
I feel like right now, TNC, it feels like they're tilted. Tim's was 800 gold away from his Blink Dagger. Now he's got 600 gold total. Like, this game is completely turned around. Solo is really just being able to do whatever the hell he wants in this game. And the Shadow Fiend is no longer that feat station he was in the beginning of the game. The Greaves upgrade makes such a difference. Like, from the mech to the Greaves, it makes such a big deal. And we're seeing it pay off so far. And Easy does it so far for Team Russia, as if they continue to team fight like this and Solo just, indiscriminately steals every correct spell, then yeah, this is going to go pretty quickly.
But I mean, TNC can and probably should just look to slow things down a bit. I feel like with the Empower, the split push potential of the Ember, they can just kind of avoid these fights until they have these items like the Magnus Blink, which are now a lot further away, but they shouldn't have been trying to perhaps force it as much as they are right now.
You know what it feels like? It feels like they're playing hindsight Dota. Like, they're trying to recover what was once theirs. You know, so they're making these big sweeping plays by continuing to play aggressively because they think that they're still ahead.
Yep.
But in this game, you're no longer really ahead.
Top lane, Gabby TPs on the Blade Fury. He's going to cut off Roger here. Elsewhere, though, it's AU getting
AU's dead.
destroyed by Ramses. They should be able to get a kill into Roger. That's going to make it a 1-for-1 exchange. Support for support.
This guy's got an Aegis. Don't do it.
Yeah, just get the hell out. Razor with an Atos. Looking for some extra control to synergize with his static link. Doesn't catch Affanin. We'll hit another pause.
Oh man, I haven't seen Solo's just. He's like, guys, like, I'm done with this. I got this one. He is putting the team on his back.
See another pause. TNC sounds. No sounds.
I completely agree with you though. I think that TNC right now, they have to slow down the pace of the game because I mean. They've been beating everybody by just outpacing them, but in this game, that one team fight determined way too much. The buyback, and then there was 2 different moments, or 3, I guess, where Solo won this game for his team potentially. It was the buyback mid where they got the kill onto Armel. It's where he stole the RP, got the 3-man RP onto the 3 heroes on the low ground and set up for that. And then it's the healing ward that brings everybody back. He forces the Jug to all in on him. Like that's just it's such a tilting move.
Yeah, well,
you saw that Gabby just commits.
TNC need to not dwell on their mistakes and move on from them. And look to bounce back here as it's a 6k gold deficit, but definitely like I see their draft and don't think they're out of this by any means.
Yeah, I think if you're TNC, you think to yourselves like, guys, we have Empower, we have 2 melee cores that can go late. Just wait. Like, there's no reason to have to do this. But it's so hard to think that in the moment, right? Because the game pace, you just continue to just run at them, like kind of mindlessly, and it's been working for them so far throughout this tournament. And I think it's sort of hard to turn off that switch in your head, to just slow down and say like, guys, we can play the farming game with our lineup. Because you're completely right. There's not a ton of catch on the enemy side. It's really easy for Ember to just play this game and he'll push out all the side lanes 100 times over and they can't really kill him. If he gets rooted, he can just use the chains. He can slide into his remnant always.
At least until Batrider has Blink. I mean, there is a Blink lift on Rubik, but that's... I don't know, I feel like you can play at least around one hero having a Blink catch, but... haven't really seen it. He has got a Lincoln's queued up, so once he has a Lincoln's, he can really... I mean, I think that says like that is their new game plan. If you're building Lincoln's on Ember, it's to basically play so you can split push without getting caught. As we'll get things back underway, it looks like. With the Razor reconnecting, things should be back and ready and good to go. Raven on the Razor is going to be BKB queued up, so he's looking to tank up, get some extra survivability, making sure he can steal as much damage as possible in these fights. That's kind of his main job, is to just steal as much as you can from this Troll Warlord every single team fight. Gabby comes in, drives by, grabs a bounty rune, and looks to get out.
I feel like VP should be doing something with this Aegis.
Yeah, even just fighting over those bounty runes, but I think these, the pauses and just the way this game has felt a bit fragmented does seem to maybe...
It feels really janky, right?
Yeah. Cap and I just, we cast a game before where there was like a pause every 2 minutes, and it's hard to cast, and it's even harder to play those games where you're constantly having your just mental flow being disrupted by the pauses. Troll gets level 20, so he gets that damage talent. He is looking like a force to be reckoned with, and a force that's about to have a Satanic to go with all his other items as well. You kind of mentioned it, Roger still doesn't feel like he's having a huge impact on this game.
No. You're not really seeing him do what he is doing is he's tanking spells.
Yep.
Like, Armel is locked in on killing that Batrider. Armel straight up hates that man. There's been 3 straight fights where he commits like half his mana pool just to kill him.
It's actually, I'd say Pasha as well. His impact has been a little bit lackluster.
I mean, both these guys are just tanking abilities.
Yeah, and Pasha helped them kill Roche. He hazed the Roshan.
That counts.
Yeah. But here we go. It is the pseudo split push game. Razor pushing out waves top. They just, not just Ember, but several heroes just trying to keep these lanes pushed out and then not get caught in the process. They actually do manage to escape, and they outgrouped as 5-mid. I wonder if this is a smoke from TNC or what they have in mind.
Gosh, Ramses is just so farmed. I really like this Satanic decision too, because by going for the BKB, I mean, it's not that great, but being able to remove the status and always having the option to pop your ulti with Satanic on versus these melee cores, he can go to town.
Yep.
The status resist is really the underrated part about that in this game, especially when you play against this Ember who heavily relies on doing that like spacey type of game where he hit and runs you.
Yep. Yeah, you're just going to get kind of decent amount less when it's at 30%, so... Here we go. Both teams kind of converging around this bottom lane. TNC keeping things at that 6k gold lead, or deficit for them, but not letting VP and Team Russia extend their advantage. But also, Team Russia defending all their towers. They can't quite break this bottom tier 1 tower, and they are struggling to progress things in a meaningful way. But with Aegis down, there's just no real sense of urgency for Team Russia, it seems.
I think they realize that the next Roshan is probably theirs too. It's easier for them to fight. That's the OP part about having Batrider on your team, is even if his farm is as garbage as it is, he can just Firefly and check the entire situation for you, right? Like, he'll scout stuff out, make sure that you're not being hit in Roshan or anything like that. And it takes time for TNC's lineup to be able to just go and hit as we see this bottom lane. They're gathered around.
Yeah, I think TNC ping it though because they had their sentry ward dewarded, so they know that Russia's down here. But they need to come back and defend. Ramsey's going to chip away at this tier 3 tower. Is anybody home? Jug? Magnus? Ember? Anybody? Razor's
Guys, you can't just give up this tower for free.
And the issue is Roger now is a blink dagger, so he's looking. Anyone goes near those trees, he's going to get the jump on them. They do steal some good damage from Ramses, but he just gets force-staffed away, and that's a free tier 3 tower. Nothing cooking on the side of TNC.
Easy peasy? I don't know. This that was like the slowest reaction time of all time. They just sort of watched them take the tower, then everyone slowly filtered back in. And I guess they're trying to allow Gabby to get bigger and bigger, but I don't think the troll matches up poorly against them at all as the game goes on. Like, the Jug, if your Jug can't one-shot ult the troll, then he's almost always going to be able to just pop his ult, go for the one-on-one fight, and he'll win.
They don't have much, like, disable to kind of control him during that Satanic either. Like, he's going to just pop that afterwards, so like you say, if he survives the Omni Slash, then he's going to turn and heal up. So, perhaps, like, the Razor being able to steal enough damage. It's almost like the Jug doesn't want to fight into the troll. He wants to go for the other heroes, like the Batrider, as we've seen, the Rubik. He needs to just not worry about the troll and just hope the Razor of Raven can answer him. But bounty runes are coming up, and one of the few times we get to see these little fights here. Solo does grab it, but looks like he'll pay for this with his life. Just a support kill.
He was worth a lot of gold. That's 300 gold.
Still, with the 3-to-1 bounty rune swing, it's an 8k gold lead now. I always feel like dying as a support for a bounty rune is mostly worth it, as long as your opponents don't like turn it into like an objective or a rogue.
Do you know how much gold they go for that? For that
At this stage, it's probably like 100-ish to 120, somewhere in that per player. Probably like 500 gold, maybe 500, 600.
Also, the fact that you deny them the bounty rune, right?
Sure, yeah. So doubly, it's each bounty rune, yeah.
The expected value is quite high for that.
It's like a 1,000 gold swing per bounty rune, maybe. Maybe that's too high.
Oh, Ember tries to save his shrine. He's got one hit left.
Deny it, man. Pop it. Nah, it heals. It's got that 5 HP regen.
It's pretty good. All right, as tower gets denied by Ramses, Easy does it. They have cut into the gold somewhat. I mean, it was 8k a second ago. So they are starting to pick up some farm. There's a BKB now completed on the Razor. As SF gets a full Scotty, that's going to be his way to deal with some of these cores. And it just helps tank him up. Like, it feels like the play right now for Team Russia is just to tank up. Don't build BKBs, just tank up, get into these right-click fights, be able to win later.
I mean, SF will just do damage naturally through his talents, and just a longer team fight. He's got the extra damage per soul, he's got the aura affecting buildings, so he can be a building hitter, and also enable the troll to hit buildings, and I imagine we'll even see the -5 presence or armor. I've seen a few SFs even start getting this.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday too.
So
it's this mid fight.
See smoke up from TNC. They're going to look for the jump here, but they don't get the Searing Chains. They miss the initiation, so that's going to start things off poorly for them. He does have the Blade Fury off, so he's been lassoed here, but there's no damage to follow this on. Ramses goes in with the BKB, wants to focus Raven, but he's losing his damage to the static link. Can he finish him off? He's lost so much damage, he just can't do it. He can't really kill anyone. And they forced a buyback out of the Batrider, but the Magnus blinking in, looking for an RP, doesn't actually get it off and ends up dying for it. And this should be Roshan going Russia's way as a result.
They keep using so much on Roger. They just straight up Omni-Slashed him. He doesn't care.
Yep.
Roger don't care. He's got no farm. Like, that's a 5-position hero. I think for some reason they're forgetting about that. Like, he's got half the net worth of Solo pretty much. And, I mean, he already used his ulti. Like, he doesn't care about dying there. He instantly buys back. Just, they go in for the Roshan.
Well, with Aegis in hand and Cheese as well, they may just be able to go push.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty free for them. And what a situation that they've gotten themselves into. I mean, TNC, they really have to be better about how they focus in these fights. You got to use some of these abilities on these cores. You have to stop focusing so much on this 5-position bat, this 3-position Slaughter that's got Crimson Guard. Like, they don't care if they die.
They are hitting these buildings pretty damn fast. This -7 armor on buildings from the SF is pretty handy. They've also got Initiation. The Blink Lasso going to catch out the Razor, who does BKB and get the hell out of there. Didn't deal a massive amount of damage.
And they're beating them back, at least for the time being, but Ramsey's really not concerned about this whatsoever.
They're holding, but they're not doing any damage, and it doesn't really feel like TNC's catching up in any way. Even if this game keeps on dragging, the troll is just out of control.
These are sick item builds. From the side of Team Russia. Like, they just built for pure tank. They've got a Crimson Guard, they have Guardian Greaves, they just sort of run at you and hit.
Here come TNC. Arcane Rune down bottom. Not a fight over bounty runes, but it is a fight over a rune. Armel grabs it with the blink in. Needs to be careful. He's been lifted up. No follow-up stuns it looks like, as he is going to Remnant out, help bring down Pasha. Can they continue this fight? Can they find more? He doesn't actually have a Searing Chains up when he goes for that Sleight of Fist, but will in a couple of seconds if he wants to chase for more. Doesn't seem like that's the case. So just the one kill going TNC's way. I like the move, but they just don't quite get the reward they were hoping for. And it just feels like TNC, their teamfight's just not looking very scary. They're entirely relying on this Magnus to hit like a sick RP, but he's afraid of a Rubik stealing it and also just blinking in and getting lifted and blowing up like we saw mid lane.
They just don't really have that ability to button mash and kill really quickly. Like... White Off does is
just blink Omni slashed him.
And that's Roger's job, is to tank Omnis.
I guess at this point you don't mind using an Omni slash because you're not looking to teamfight when Dire have Aegis.
No,
so.
probably not. It just kind of shows you though, like the way that they're getting these kills. They're up 23-14, but it's so empty. How many deaths does Roger have?
He's sitting on 9 deaths, and Slaughter's got 6. So those are the two big.
They're not
culprits.
really killing these cores. These 1 and 2s, so they don't really care that much.
He's happy to just fall back and continue farming. He's got that cheese, which has some nice synergy with the battle trance when you can keep yourself alive through that and just pop it afterwards.
I do think there is a chance for TNC to still win this game. I think that VP or White Off are really in control, but I mean, I could easily envision a situation where White Off decides to get a little bit too over-aggressive. Their ability to disengage isn't as strong as their ability to engage.
Do they need that really big team fight winning RP, or is it just going to come out to like some other smaller outplays?
I think it's just like the hit and run. You have to let Armel set up these fights for you. Just let him. He needs like maybe one more item, and he needs to be able to deal damage because he's got to be able to scare you with his Sleight of Fist into chains. And they're going to go for the smoke here. Is the Aegis out? This would be a really good timing if it is.
No, it's got a whole minute plus left on it, but they just feel confident. They're going to run to the Slider. Again, it's Pasha. Perhaps just going down. Missing Remnants will hit that one, but he's committed a lot of these Remnants here.
There he is now, and Ramses is just going to pop the ulti and go as Raven gets the Eul Scepter off. Tim's going to go for the RP. It's going to at least connect onto one, but they should lose 2 heroes here as Raven getting chased down as Gabby finds in the backline solo.
Raven, full retreat now, doesn't have the survivability to survive those right clicks, and they've got nothing left in the tank here. Maybe they are being punished for the lack of Omni Slash. It is coming back up soon. Can Gabby find a way into this fight?
They know Ramses doesn't have his ulti quite yet.
Yeah,
if they could find a good way to initiate on him as...
He does have cheese, though, so you've got to kind of stun him while you try and burst him is the problem, or he's just going to pop that cheese and get the hell out.
You can't just let them take racks like this as Solo's going to get gone on. You have to stop going on these supports, and now the...
Omni Slash comes out, they get one. Ramses should be just fine. He's going to wait for him to the Omni Slash to end. He wants to kill Gabby, and with the Skadi slow, he's Blade Fury, but he's getting slowed up. It doesn't look like, they can chase him down. Ramses goes charging forward. The range form is going to be just barely enough. The Sleight of Fist Searing Chains is going to lock them in place. Afanin has the Aegis still. Needs to maybe wait for that one to expire. I believe it is expiring soon. There it ends as they come back into it. That is kind of a small little saving grace for them. They still lose the mid-melee racks, and they're still down 12k gold. But small signs of life for TNC.
Yeah, they just waited, I think, a little bit too long to engage there. If they go in maybe 5 or 6 seconds earlier, they can probably save that melee racks, or at least make it difficult. Because if you were planning on committing the buyback anyways, then you might as well have just gone. There is no buyback on the SF. I'd imagine that TNC maybe want to force the issue with 5 alive, 2 dead on the side of Team White Off. You want to try to get aggressive here as Gabby's just going to check for a rune. I think you want to, you don't know it of course, but you want to try to force the buyback. And that's why White Off, you've got to be careful here.
They may have even seen his items. He's was buying all these butterfly pieces, so they may have an idea that he doesn't have buyback.
Yeah, you've got to do something with this. You committed your jug buyback, and there's 40 seconds of a window right now. So this is TNC's potential way back into the game.
Yep. Lasso onto the Eul Scepter counter, and he gets held up in place, so he couldn't pull the jug in. And now Roger's going to be in all sorts of trouble as well. They get the cast down onto Ramses, but no more targets for it to bounce onto. Ramses has been maledicted, so he needs to be careful, losing his damage now as well.
There's the cheese.
Has a BKB with the cheese, so he does manage to get himself out of there, but they're losing the T3 tower. Still 15 seconds on the SF before he's back. They're going to get at least the tower here. Not sure if they can go for the racks as well. Time is running out. Problem for Troll is he doesn't have a BKB anymore. I think TNC feel like they can stick around and go for this. Gabby's going to spin and get a melee racks out of this one. They need to finish off somebody. Get it. Gabby does get it. Has got the Blink Dagger to escape. He's going for a range wreck. That's a bold move.
And they're still staying around for this.
They just want to fight, I guess. They've got the RP ready behind them, so they're hoping for an RP opportunity. And Omni Slash is back up, so if they get that sick RP, they'll have an Omni Slash on top of it, but they just get a racks and go.
Oh, big mistake for the SF not to have buyback there.
Yeah.
I think because of the position that they were in, like they were so far deep into the base, he's probably like, there's no way that they're just going to counter access. So I'll go for the full buyout.
Well, they pay the price as TNC keep their hopes alive of a 2-0. This is do or die for Team Russia as far as getting to the Grand Finals go. There is a third place decider, and, well, what better way to help themselves out than to have a DD rune spawn. It is 40 minutes, so we are at that stage of the double rune, so a lot more DDs will be spawning at this stage of the game. I'm sure Ramses would love to be able to bottle this one up for a team fight or perhaps a Roshan. They don't actually have a bottle, so we may just have to pick it up.
Well, they've sort of brought it somewhat even now. And it all starts in the fact that they don't have the buyback on the SF. And he's going to fully commit to buying that butterfly too, I'd imagine. So there's going to be no buyback from here.
Yeah, walking past this double damage.
Yep.
Notice it.
Somebody's got to see it.
Maybe they're waiting to get max value out of it. Like, because it's going to be there for another minute and a half, so perhaps they just want to wait and grab it at like a later time. Or they're just, a bit oblivious. We'll give Ramses the benefit of the doubt. He's just looking to wait it out. And waiting it out means Roche... Okay, it's a long Roche respawn. 2.5 minutes from the minimum, roughly. It just came back up, so... Or the earliest came up, but it's going to be a long one. Which is good news for TNC, considering there is that double damage. They don't have to rush themselves into any kind of a big fight.
They got the 25 on the Shadow Fiend too. He didn't go for the CDR, by the way. Yeah. He went for the -5 presence aura.
All about this physical damage amplification, it seems. That's a lot of minus armor on buildings too.
And you don't really notice the Manta, the cooldown.
Yeah.
I guess it's not that big of a deal.
You have like a BKB and it's like a really good BKB game. It kind of changes. But that's -12 armor.
If you went for a Hex at some point or anything like that, then it makes a bit of a difference. But in this position, not nearly as important with the item build that he's decided to go. I think once you commit to a Scotty, especially, your item build is sort of locked in. You can't really get out of that.
Ember, about to hit level 25, has money for an Octarine core, but Armel prioritizing his buyback, something the SF did not do and perhaps wishes he did earlier. But both teams posturing around Roshan. Is that long Rosh respawn, which only we know here at the commentating desk. These teams are assuming that it could respawn any second now, which is why they are refusing to leave this area, knowing how important this one is going to be. This is Refresher Shard for whoever does manage to claim the Roshan.
If you're Armel, you need to just hit and run. Yeah. Just sort of chip them down. Your Jug doesn't have buyback, you do. Get them out of there. Make it difficult for them to stay in that area.
That's why he's not also buying the Octarine. He wants to make sure he has buyback for this potential Roshan fight so we can, play that hit and run style. But if he does get caught, he can instantly buy back and then take advantage of, something like a Troll BKB being down.
They got the 10 armor too on the Razor, by the way.
Okay. Nice.
Not a bad talent at all.
Yeah. That will at least negate the SF aura for the most part.
Yeah. And a smoke aggressively done as VP. Trying to back up Ramses here.
Yeah, they do not mind showing Ramses here, but on the high ground is TNC, knowing that they want to have this positional advantage. Roger pops the smoke, doesn't want to go blinking in because he is a little bit blind. It is daytime. The plasma field is going to clip him. Puts the ward up there to try and set up this fight, which will help them out a bit, but Roger's in all sorts of trouble. The Linkens is there. I believe that blocked the lasso, so no lasso for him. BKB onto Raven. He steals some decent damage here.
Gabby still got his ulti too.
Now he uses it. Through. He's going to bring down Affinage with the two-man chains as well. It's bringing down the SF. That's a dead SF. He's got no buyback. Troll in trouble as well. He's got a BKB, but he's been skewered back. Needs to start life-stealing with the Satanic. He's getting himself back near to full, but he's still completely surrounded. And like you say, kited to days. Armel on this Ember is just getting searing chains after searing chains. Nothing Ramses can do except turn and fight, and he's going to die to Gabby. Instantly buying back here, knowing that I think it's not even about contesting Roshan. It's just about keeping your base alive, because they don't have to go Roach. They could almost go Throne here.
Oh my god, I can't believe White Off's going to lose this game.
Absolutely devastating. They will go for Roshan now because of the buybacks. I don't think you want a chance going for a Throne push when SF theoretically could have buyback. He doesn't. He's short 500 gold, but TNC do not know that.
Yeah. And this all comes back from that dive into base with that Aegis. He's in no man's land. He doesn't have buyback. If you have buyback in that situation, I'm okay with that play. Go for it. See what you can do. Then you use the counter buyback, you save your racks, and everything's fine. At most, you still have like a 10k gold advantage. But the fact that they lost both racks there, they lost their tier 3 tower, they lost map control as a result of that. Not having buyback in that position was so fatal. In this position, it doesn't matter as much. But diving their base with the Aegis, you know that the timer's up soon. You have to be able to notice that.
Yeah. Well, things looking rough all of a sudden. Refresher Shard coming into the mix, which probably will go into Magnus's hands. They do scan Roshan, so that at least gives them the info that they don't have to worry about being jumped. Troll is headed that way with the DD rune. They want to contest this one. And TNC need to be a little bit careful. Troll's double damage could be something that will push them away from this pit.
It's done now.
There's 25 seconds left on the SF, so they're backing out of the pit. They don't want to deal with this. The DD rune, okay, it's worn off, but Razor's still going to charge forward with the Yule Scepter. Doesn't go for the static link, and
it's real low. You'd imagine that both teams
somehow. How did they not get Roach during that time?
I don't know. Shadow Fiend's dead too. Shadow Fiend's still dead for 10, but they're going to commit on to Raven. He's going to go down almost immediately. He buys back instantly.
They get the bash. Gabby's being locked down in place here. There's follow-up stun as well. That's the Abyssal Blade coming to play. They've killed off the Jug. He's dead for 2 minutes. Oh, that's absolutely disastrous. He does not have buyback as well. Armel needs to find a way out of this one. I don't know if he's going to get a kill on the Bat Rider at least, who instantly buys back from this one. Troll, plenty of HP to play around as well. Satanic, he wants to just go for Roshan potentially. He turns around with the Razor.
This was the buyback from the Razor.
The end of Raven's life for the next 2+ minutes. He's just dead. Deathwood from the high ground, trying to bring down Ramses, who has been brought kind of low, but with the Bat Rider buyback, it should be fine. And this is suddenly going to swing back the other way. TNC have thrown away the lead that they had gotten for the first time this entire game in a matter of seconds with one poor Roche fight. Jug, his buyback comes back up.
There
he wants
he goes.
back in. He wants to try and take this fight. They look for the RP. Tims gets a decent one. Not quite the target I was hoping for in solo, but does stop the RP from being stolen.
the Omni
Slash bringing them low. Only a Batrider, though, not the target he
They're
was
so
hoping
low
for.
in the back line.
Oh, what can he do here? He goes down before he can actually steal anything he wants. The Slider dead as well for 100 seconds. There's only 2 left. They've got Armel. Armel's just going to keep on kiting him with the Searing Chains. The Slider Fist Searing Chains. Affinian getting very, very low. He's dead as well. It's just Ramses on the troll. He's going to BKB.
He can actually get
needs
this
the
kill.
life
This
steal.
will
He
reset
needs
things
the
for a
root.
sec.
He gets the kill. Die back for the Juggernaut. But he's going to keep on kiting Ramses. Can they actually kill him off? He's got the Octarine core. Wants to go for the chase here. Can they actually bring down the troll?
He's out of mana.
Without a BKB. Armel's just going to chase him for days, right? There's nothing Ramses can do.
No one has buyback left in this game.
Oh, no. Ramses is just like, what do I do, guys?
Is
I
this the
can't
slow
attack.
death?
It might be. What can he do here? Armel's just kiting. There's the Searing Chains. He goes rangeful, gets a range smash. Well, that's not enough for him. He turns around, gets the root on the Witch Doctor.
AU, you've
He's
committed too hard.
life-stealing. AU's just throwing away his life and giving Ramses a full...
If he doesn't go in, he probably can't lifesteal like that.
Armel would just solo kill him.
Yeah, he would just hit and run repeated. There's no mana left on this troll.
Yeah, I mean, Ramses did, figure out he needed to go range for him. He got the range bash of all things, but AU should not have gotten in close, like you said.
So it's a one-on-one that's left.
And Roshan's still alive, by the way.
Everyone used their buybacks. Everyone died for this fight.
There's also 4 bounty runes. We're at 47 minutes, 2 minutes past bounty runes, and everyone's like, forget bounties. We're fighting. It's on. Man, TNC, they fucked up not getting that Roche.
Yes.
The Roche, they actually dragged Roche out of the pit to
Yeah.
pick up that illusion rune. That cost them like 6 seconds.
No, they almost certainly should have had that. And then if you get the Aegis onto the Juggernaut there, he's got 3 lives to play with. You almost certainly win that game.
Cheese, refresher,
Yeah.
etc.
There's no buyback on the SF. You're in the best possible position. Now SF has a buyback. That's a valuable one, too. You're the only one with buyback in this game left.
What in holy hell just happened? Yeah, I think TNC just assumed they had more time than they really had when they were making those plays, and they definitely didn't mean to drag Roche out of the pit, but the end result is they don't get Roche. It's going to go
Now
Rush's
it's
way.
going to go VP's way.
They don't have the best refresher shot.
Oh,
hero,
this
I
game's
guess.
great. This game's so cloudy. Both teams. It's a dogfight. That's the thing about it. It's a really scrappy game. Both teams are, of course, making some errors, but we're seeing some really good plays.
This is land Dota at its finest. It's not always perfectly clean Dota.
I mean, the best games are always a little bit like this.
Yeah.
They're going to be... Oh, this is a really good DD rune for him to find. Ramses.
Holding off on grabbing it.
I think he's waiting for the next wave, maybe, to spawn there before he picks it up.
Giving it to his SF, it seems.
Ooh, that's interesting. Maybe because he can just go high ground hit. He's got the buyback, too, and he has the Aegis. They made a lot of conscious decisions there.
Does seem like they may not even be considering pushing right now.
Yeah.
Their buyback status, yeah, SF has one, but when you're versing a team that's defending high ground, you're more worried about your buyback status than your opponent's. Yeah,
Yes.
there's no TNC buybacks, but Troll dies and you just lose the game. It doesn't matter that SF has buyback.
I can't believe the game has devolved into this. Where TNC, I feel like there was no way for them to win. Then there was no way for White Off to win after that engagement where it should have been a free Roshan for them. And now it's in this position.
Now it's anyone's kind
now
of
it's
win.
genuinely anyone's game.
And the win chance, according to Dota Plus, is 64-36, favoring Russia. They've got Aegis Cheese Refresher, so I'd definitely give them a bit of an edge right now. They've also got that slight buyback edge with 2 buybacks to none. But that will only last so long. Magnus is just a little bit short on gold, it looks like, for his buyback. How is Magnus's buyback so cheap? He's just that poor. I was like,
yeah. He's got nothing, dude. He's got like a blink.
He had 110 gold, and it says 400. His buyback cost is 484.
And he doesn't even have the gold for it.
I guess if he had more gold for it, his buyback cost goes up because his net worth goes up. But that's insane how low that is for 50 minutes.
Whew.
What a crazy game.
And they're going to pick up the bounty runes. The SF was actually short like 80. Can you imagine if that ended up playing any sort of part? But he's got it now. Afo, don't buy anything. You... Okay?
You'll see in a second, but he's about to spend all that money on a BKB of things. Which I feel like these fights, he's popping the Greaves to get rid of Searing Chains, but we're at that point where Searing Chains is so spammable.
10-second BKB is really strong here. It would just be funny if they lost because of that. Yeah. He's nowhere near buyback now.
Now it's this thing where it's like, my troll doesn't have buyback, so what's the point of me having buyback?
Let's do it!
Yeah,
let's get it.
Double down.
I like the reasoning. It almost threw the game like 4 different times. Yeah. Him not having it for the Roche fight was also really rough, but it didn't even hurt him. You know, he was bulletproof.
He's got Aegis. You don't need buyback when you have Aegis.
Let's do it.
How long is he even on this? Okay, he's got 2 minutes. Are they going to go break high ground or attempt to
They've
got to
try it. With the Aegis, I think you at least have to force the issue. You know that nobody has buyback. Your Shadow Fiend has also used his, but you have Aegis Cheese. Like, what other advantages really are you going to wait for?
Are they really trying to push high ground when Bat Ride's on the other side of the map? They're going to poke it. SF actually just goes in and does a couple. SF hits so hard on towers with this minus armor.
Yeah.
He chunks it.
Look at Roger just on the other side of the map farming his BKB. No one cares about buyback anymore.
You need it against the
Ramses has it now. That's huge.
Buyback, yeah. But that also should mean Radiant have some coming up. Minute and 52 minutes-ish for the Ember. Jug, same thing. So
you saw the way that TNC can still win this game is Armel. He has to play this hit and run, just consistently get like, you need to get like 15 chains off in this fight.
But against BKBs, a bit harder.
They need to be able to prolong this fight long enough where they can kill the backline and all the supportive heroes, while also maintaining at least 2 heroes so that he can kite the troll. It's a really specific set of conditions that they need to win this game.
Yeah. At least the troll BKB is down to 5 seconds, so yeah, kiting him out and kiting out the BKB's period seems to be the
so
way
now
to
you have the
go.
Shadow Fiend buyback too. You have to know that advantage buyback goes in your favor. They might not even have the gold for it on the side of TNC.
Yeah. And they know their buybacks were used a few minutes earlier, so they should have at least a rough idea, if not an exact idea, of when these buybacks are coming back up. And they're just going to walk in with SF. He's got Aegis. He just destroys buildings here. And you can see there, he's just melting this melee Rax. There is a glyph, which they're going to pop. And the Aegis is expiring in about 15 seconds time. They need to be careful. He blinks it with the BKB Batride. It doesn't get a lasso. Rogers' game of woes continues.
Oh my god, this Rax!
Oh, SF gonna get full stuff out of there. They don't get the melee Rax, and TNC
Raven's really in there.
This one. Raven's gone in very deep, but he's got a Lotus Orb. And Affinage, he's been caught by the Omni Slash. He's just melting to this one. He's got no Aegis anymore. He dies. Whoa. Aegis just expired. Is he going to buy back and try to take this fight? There's going to be a nice RP coming out. Is there any kind of a steal? It looks like Solo doesn't manage to find it. Gabby's trying to bring down the troll, but he's just getting Solo. He gets the life steal up. He gets it. He's still alive. He gets RP, but it's too late. He gets the steal. Oh, Solo, what can he do with this one? He's on the sides here. He's looking for initiation. Catches out 2.
They don't have the damage, though.
Where's
There's no
the
damage.
follow-up? There's absolutely nothing. And the Blade Fearing Jug will kill the Slaughter. They're going to get more. They get the Rubik as well, who instantly buys back. 2-man chains forward. SF with a BKB. He just bought back. Affinin, you've made a few mistakes this game. Don't make another. You can't afford to die. I think he knows he can bring down Tim's and Ramses.
Tim's is like 300 gold buyback. Just use it.
Yeah, he instantly does. He knows. Oh.
But now it's heavily advantaged TNC because you have 3 buybacks on all 3 of your cores.
What on earth?
I have no idea what that was. Genuinely. If Ramses dies there, I think the game is really hard to recover. He has to go for the instant buyback. TNC will have 3 on their cores. They'll have room to play with.
That melee Rex surviving on like 80 health, and now it's going to...
I really wish they hadn't waited. They waited until the Aegis was pretty much up before they took that fight, as the instant buyback from Pasha.
They go charging forward. They want to bring down Armel.
They have the damage. He's getting low.
He gets the Slighted Fist off. Is there a Remnant out? He does have one. He goes a bit further back. It's not all the way out. He gets another one out. Armel still alive for now, I believe. Yeah, he has got buyback, even if he does go down.
Gabby doesn't have Omni Slash, so he wants to try to disengage off of this.
This Batrider does not have a BKB, and Armel's considering
nice Force Staff.
Can Gabby get out of this one? He's got the Healing Ward. Nobody's killing off the Healing Ward.
Tim's, he pushes them away.
Tim's, he's in some trouble here with the Corrosive Hazel, and Afinin needs to be careful. This BKB still a decent duration. I believe it's 9 seconds. Finally, the Healing Ward goes down, but it's healed everyone up pretty decently well. The Magnus does not have buyback anymore.
And Rogers died during all of this. They are going for the chase. There is a buyback on this Razor. Armel gets another kill.
Can they bring down this Razor? Raven does have buyback. They can look to turn and fight this one, and that's exactly what they're going to do. The BKBs are down. That means
there's no buyback on this guy.
Searing Chains is king here. They're going to bring down SF. That's 3 dead. No buybacks. They're going to get a 4th, I believe, as well. Slater in trouble. He's got no buyback. It's going to be Ramses against the world, and I don't think he can do this. They can go down the mid lane. They should look to go for the throne here. I'm not sure Ramses can hold.
It's 1 on all.
Batrider. Wait, what? He has Batrider's buyback coming on the bounty runes.
Yeah.
Okay, bounty runes is how he
one.
gets there. Whew.
So now you have to play 2 on 4 where the Jug is 93 gold away from buyback. So for all intents and purposes, this game should be over. I guess Gabby decided to all in for this. This is one small way that you can lose.
Let's see it.
Gabby, don't do this to me. This game can't go back the other way. This has to be the conclusion of it.
Roger, my boy, it's time to do something. You've fed 15 deaths this game. If there's a time to be a hero, it's now. But he only has the 1 force off. You're not pulling anyone into the fountain at this rate, and they're going straight for the tier 4, straight for the throne.
There's no way you can hold...
Troll has 2 lives. He just has to go throw away those lives at some point and try focus one of these kills. Who are you going to lasso? The Lincolns and the Lotus make it difficult. They go in on the backline, so Troll goes charging forward. The Blade Fury on the Jug, he's going to bring down the tier 4 towers. The throne could be next. They are buying some time here. They need all the time in the world. These respawn times aren't getting any shorter. And the Batrider, he's dead now for 2 minutes. Ramses is all alone. 1 versus 4, about to be 5 with the Magnus respawn. He instantly buys back. He needs to get in there instantly, but this throne is just melting to the Divine Rapier, and it looks like TNC are going to the grand finals.
Is this real life? Look at their faces. Like, everyone looks like they're in disbelief right now.
It's like
the Aegis uses from Team White off really threw this game. That time at top where they went in, they dove. Ramses and Afoninj decided that, look at that, he knows. Like, they know they should have won this game. They dive in, he loses the Aegis, he doesn't have buyback. They immediately get Rax as a result of that. Then TNC counter throws the game by not finishing that Roshan attempt. Good sportsmanship.